Good afternoon and welcome to the D-Bar. I'm Kyle Ryan and I'm joined by Cameron McKay once again. Today the 5-2 Niagara Lady Knights travel to Hamilton to take on the 2-6 Mohawk Lady Mountaineers in an OCAA West Division matchup. November has been rough for the Mountaineers as they've been winless, but on the other side of the court, the Niagara Knights are coming off a tough defeat at Humber where they got swept in 3 straight sets. But both teams want to end this semester on a high. For the Mountaineers to come out on top, they need to get assistance from other players on the court besides Kirsten Balacheski and Alexandria Pullum, who in their game at Redeemer on Tuesday combined for 39 total attacks, while the rest of the team just combined for 24. So Cam, who needs to step up on the Mountaineers and who looks to counter for the Niagara Knights?
Well, for the Mountaineers, it looks like Brittany Gindrich and Natalie Preserva need to step up and get some more plays in the net. Also, Kinsley Child, who's had an outstanding first season, but it seems like she had a rough game last week even without a kill, and she needs to step it up too. On the other side with Niagara, there's Rachel Rivers, Devin Lowe's, and Linnea Davis, and they're just strong players. So if Mohawk wants to come out on top on this one, they have to keep an eye out for them and to have some strong plays in the net.
We should be in for a good game, but before we get started, let's throw it to Tom for his sideline report.
Thanks, guys. I am down here courtside at D-Bark, and just in a few moments, the women's volleyball game is about to get underway. Now, both of these teams are coming off a loss, so it's definitely going to end up to who has the strongest discipline and makes the fewest mistakes. Now back over to the commentating desk.
Welcome back to the D-Bark, and both teams take the court, and we're about to get going. But first, let's go over some starters. So for the Niagara Knights, starting is number 4, Bailey Davis, number 5, Jasmine Thome, number 6, Caitlin Whiteley, number 8, Rachel Rivers, number 10, Linnea Davis, number 13, Samantha Bailey, and their libero is Kenneth Van Solen. So Cam, who's starting for the Mohawk?
For the women's Mountaineers, we have number 4, Jasmine Zanussi, number 5, Allison Underwood, number 6, Rebecca Powell, she's the libero, number 7, Kinsley Child, 10, Brittany Gindrich, number 13, Christian Balachowski, and number 15, Yvonne Mann.
Both teams take the court, and looks like we're about to get things rolling here at the D-Bark. One of the keys to this game is how these teams start, and it's all about that strong start. You get ahead, you win the first set, and just sets the tone for the upcoming sets, and that's what they need in the game, especially the Mountaineers, who have lost 4 straight, and they need to get a win under their belt before this semester of play ends.
Yeah, one thing they need to focus on this game, Kyle, is to keep their composure. Like you said, they've lost 4 straight, but they need to stay confident and focus on the game ahead and not worry about what's been happening. They need to start a new game fresh off the bat, and they'll have a good one in this one.
Linnea Davis has the ball behind the service line, and referees just making sure everything's okay here, and gives a signal, and we're ready to go. Linnea Davis floats one over, passed up by Powell. Man sets it wide. Nice dig right there in the back row. Niagara saves it, dumps it over. And Coach Andrew Nicholson is not pleased with that first point as Niagara just passed that free ball over, dumped it off, and no one could get it. Another hard serve over. Kinsley Child to pass. Back row, back to Child. Crushes one over, but a nice dig. Tipped over. Powell with a nice dig over there. Balacheski tips it right into the block. Gets set back up. Free ball sent over. Passed up by Niagara. The back set and blocked, and it hits Jasmine Thome going down, and it's ruled out. Mann has the ball. Back to serve for the Mountaineers. Floats one over. Set outside. Off the block. And net violation on the Mountaineers. Serves one over, and an ace right there for the Knights. Nice serve by Samantha Bailey. Taking an early 3-1 lead. Bailey back to serve. Kinsley Child with the pass up. Man with the back set. Balacheski over the block, but it's ruled out by the official. Mohawk needs to side out here, as the coaches are saying, is never want to fall into a hole too deep early on. As Man sets it back row, Balacheski just floats it over. Out wide. Another net call on Kirsten Balacheski of the Mountaineers, and Niagara leads 5-1. A short serve. Allison Underwood's ready for it. Zanussi off the block. Set out wide. Rolled over. Zanussi with the dig. Man with the backset to Balacheski. Passed up by Van Solen. Out wide. Off the block, and what a kill right there for Rachel Rivers.
Yeah, Kyle, you can already see that number 8, Rachel Rivers, one of our players to watch tonight, is already getting some strong kills at the net.
Off the net, Zanussi gets it up. Kinsley Child sets it, but Zanussi just hits it over. Davis sets it. Rolled right to Balacheski, who's ready for it. Zanussi, an uncharacteristic play right there. She went to dump it over in 2, and it went right into the net. Forces Coach Andrew Nicholson to call an early timeout in this first set. Just some uncharacteristic plays by the Mountaineers so far in this first set, and definitely not the start they wanted. As we said, one of the keys to the game was a good start, and it looks like Niagara got the start they wanted.
Yeah, definitely. It shows that Niagara came out flying, I guess is the word I want to use here. And Mohawk seems that they don't know how to handle it just yet. Like I said, the number 8, Rachel Rivers and Linnea Davis, they're playing a good game so far. They've had some nice serves and some great plays at the net. So, just as we said at the beginning, Mohawk needs to control that, try to peg them down a couple notches and see if they can stop their strong plays.
Both teams are coming off a loss, so this is why we want to see who would come out stronger, who wants that victory more, and looks to be Niagara right now with all the errors Mohawk is making, but Coach Andrew Nicholson could have said something to spark his team, and we'll see as Samantha Bailey floats one over. Powell with the pass up, the back set to Balacheski, and just not on the same page there. Davis back sets it, crushes one, and off of Powell's right arm. Another point for the Knights. Bailey has the ball again. Her jump float. There's a lot of power on it as Kinsley Child sets one out. Zanussi rolls one over. And a net violation on the Knights, and that might be the spark the Mountaineers needed. As Kirsten Balacheski has the ball, ready to serve. And that one goes right into the net, and when you get a point like that off a violation, that they handed you a point, and when you hand it right back, that's not going to help your momentum. As Niagara gives the point right back, and a few errors early on, and this team's trying to feel each other out for a bit. See how this one's going to start, as Niagara has a 9-3 lead. Allison Underwood back to serve. Bailey with a pass up. Davis out wide and off the block. Huge dig by Man. Gets it up. Balacheski gets it over. Set out wide. Allison Underwood gets it up. Back row to Balacheski. Gets it over. A huge dig right there by Van Solen. And Davis passes it over. And the quick, it gets dumped and right to where no one's on the court. And what a great rally that was as the Mountaineers finish off the rally with the point. Allison Underwood back to serve again. This is over. Good pass up by Bailey. Oh, wide towards, and it's blocked by Gingerich. Dumps it over. Man with the huge dig. Underwood and Child gets it over. Out to Rivers. Powers it off the block, and great effort by Man coming right towards us. put her body on the line and just couldn't reach it. As Niagara setter, Bailey Davis back to serve. Nice slow approach. Child passes it up, right to Gindrich. Saved by Bailey, and passes it over. Zanussi with the nice dive. Balacheski gets it over. Van Solen passes it up, out wide to Rivers. Off the block. Powell gets it up. Man in the back row sets it. Balacheski just hits it too far, and Niagara extends their lead to 7. Davis has her slow approach to serve. Bounces the ball a few times, spins it, and then jump floats it over. Nice powerful serve. Child gets it, goes back for the kill, and what a dig right there by Van Solen, but it just goes out, as that was a very powerful hit by Kinsley Child. Expect to see a lot more of that today if the Mountaineers look to come out on top. As like we said in the pregame, they need to spread around their attacks, and Kinsley Child starting off on the right foot. As Rivers off the net through the block. Niagara gets the point. Tough to defend those as just rolls through the block into the middle where no one's standing. But Rachel Rivers with the huge jump serve. And it looked like it hit her fingers. It just went too far. As Mohawk cuts the deficit early on to 6. Still in it. They just need a little rally now to spark things. As Kinsley Child, the powerful serve over, and it just didn't drop like she wanted it to. As Caitlin Whiteley grabs the ball as it's her first serve of the match. Nice and short, gets it over. Dumped by Mann, but Whiteley's right there. Mann goes up for the hit, and net call on Mohawk, and Coach Andrew Nicholson does not agree with it. As Whiteley back to serve again. Nice dig right there by Kinsley Child, and it goes over the net and lands out. Tough to handle that when you dive for the ball on a serve, and still got to put it to where your setter is. Always tough to do that. As Whiteley serves it short, but too short this time as it falls right into the net. Brittany Gindrich from the Mountaineers back to serve. And off the tape, and just a little too short. As before her serve, she looked at her coach, who gave her the sign as to what spot on the court she wanted to serve to. Mann saves it. Kinsley Child gets it over. Davis wide. It goes out as Rebecca Powell, the lid for the Mountaineers, went for it, and you could see the relieved look on her face as she realized she didn't touch the ball. She gave the point to the Mountaineers. Mann with the short serve, and what a perfect spot for that serve as you see Rachel Rivers fly in there to try and save it, but not much she could do as that ball was way too short. Mann, another short serve. Davis with it out wide, and it's blocked. And a huge block right there by Jasmine Zanussi and Allison Underwood, trying to spark the Mountaineers in any way possible. And it looks like it seems to be working for now, as Mann back to serve again. Floats this one over, and tough to handle, but Rivers gets it up. Out to Bailey. And another net call, and Allison Underwood not pleased with the call, as that's the second or third time this set she's been called on that. But Bailey floats it over. Good pass up by Child. Backs it to Balacheski, gets blocked. Kinsley Child right there. Dumps it over, and Mann is playing really well right now. She's trying to spark this team. It's a high five from her coach as she dumps it over in two, right to that pot in the middle where no one's waiting. As Balacheski serves one over. Good play right there by Bailey. Out to Rivers. Gets blocked. Saves it up. Rivers gets it over. Balacheski passes it up. The backside to Janussi off the block. Saved by Van Solen. Davis gets it up and Rivers gets it over. Underwood saves it. Man out to Child. And a huge roof right there for the Knights as Bailey Davis and Jasmine Thome went up for it and just blocked that ball and it went straight down. After that huge block, Thome serves deep, gets it to Powell, and Underwood got it over, and Linnea Davis is disappointed with herself right now. It's a little miscommunication between Mann and Underwood as that ball got hit over lightly and just went off the right arm of Davis into the crowd. So Underwood back to serve, and that one goes right into the net, and you could tell right off her hand that ball never had a chance of going over. Niagara setter Bailey Davis back to serve. A lot of concentration in her service. She sends a laser over, but Gindrich goes up, and what a huge save right there by Van Solen. Everyone was confused as that ball went way up in the air, and about 4 Mountaineers were just standing around waiting for it to drop, and it lands right in front of us, out of bounds. As Zanussi grabs the ball. Down by 6. Powers one over. Van Solen with a nice pass up. Davis out to Davis. And the Knights get the point. Rachel Rivers with her jump serve. And that one goes right into the net. And if the Mountaineers want to come back and win this first set, they're going to need to capitalize on opportunities like this. Kinsley Child floats this one over. Van Solen to Davis. Gets tipped. Mann was there. Balacheski saves it. And a huge block by Linnea Davis as she went up solo and just knocked it down as Kirsten Balacheski had a tough time. And she just got it over and did not expect the solo block of Linnea Davis to be there to just pop that one to the ground. As Coach Andrew Nicholson calls his second and final timeout of this first set, trying to give his team any kind of spark, any kind of energy to somehow salvage a few points and get right back into this one.
Yeah, when you say salvage, Kyle, especially because there's been a lot of missed serves, and when they miss serve and then Mohawk gets a serve and they miss that serve, they need to capitalize on these opportunities. They've been playing a little bit better. They've been getting some points, some stronger plays at the net. Let's see if they can keep it going and maybe come out with a closer game or even a win at this set.
Niagara coach Joey Martins must be pleased with this team's play, but they've made a few errors that he'd prefer they don't make, but it's still the first set, and you'd rather see these errors now, like the missed serves and everything in the first set before it's deep into the third set and let's say a must win. So substitution now for the Knights. Number 6 Caitlin Whiteley is coming off as Nicole Chisia back to serve. Floats one. Balacheski goes up and gets blocked right out of bounds. Mohawk gets the point, and that's just what they want coming out of this timeout. As Allison Underwood comes on for the lib Rebecca Powell. We'll see as Gindrich gets one over. Davis, little miscommunication right there as she thought Jasmine Thome was going to go for the quick, as she was not expecting it, and it landed right between the middle and the outside hitters. So Mohawk cuts the lead to 5. Right to Gindrich, she gets it up, out wide to Balacheski. Gets blocked, Kinsley Child saves it. Man, back row to Zanussi, and Rachel saves it. Gets it over, Zanussi saves it. Man to Underwood, and she, really smart play by Underwood right there, as she just pushes that one deeper than everyone's expecting. Everyone was expecting her to go up and hit it, and they're all playing close, and just pushes one deep, and it goes off the arm of Rivers and floats it over. Van Solen bump sets it, gets blocked. Bailey gets it over, Zanussi saves it. Man dumps it. Niagara gets it. Out wide to Davis. Man gets it. Balacheski saves it. And Man gets it over in 3. Van Solen out wide to Bailey. And it's a huge block, but Van Solen gets it back up. Linnea Davis goes up, and it's out. And what a huge rally right there. And Mohawk gets the point to cut the deficit to 3. 21-18, Niagara leads, and that's what they were looking for. As Gindrich back to serve. Rachel Rivers. Backsets to Davis. Gets saved. Balacheski saves it. Little miscommunication there, but Gindrich gets it over. Davis backsets to Davis. Off the block. Man saves it. Zanussi gets it. And they're going to call a double hit right there on Zanussi. And Coach Andrew Nicholson does not agree with that call, as the first set's getting tight, and tough play right there by Powell, as she hasn't impressed us so much in this first set. And like Alessandra Soff got that concussion a few weeks back, and like we said, big shoes to fill, as gets the dig, and Man is an unreal first set for her, as she's been all over the court with her little dumps, her perfect sets, and she's trying to spark this team, as they're only down 4 points, but it's getting really late in this first set, so we'll see what they can do, as Davis sets it out to Bailey, and it gets blocked and right towards us. Niagara now leads 24-19. A substitution. Alexandria Pullum comes in for Jasmine Zanussi of the Mountaineers. And Samantha Bailey serving for the set. Short, Allison Underwood gets it. Man sets it to Pullum. Gets it up. Rachel Rivers powers that one. And what a kill right there by Rachel Rivers to end the first set, as Niagara wins 25-19. I mean, you can't ask for much more in a first set like that.
I always like the wires behind me.
And we'll throw it to Tom Edwards, who has a sideline report for us. Tom?
Definitely in the game plan of Niagara tonight. That gives them the first set win. Hopefully, Mohawk's defense and Kirsten Balachowski and Alexandra Pullum can partner up at the front of the net and get some more blocks in there. Back over to the commentator's desk.
Thanks, Tom. We'll see how Mohawk can come out in this second set, as they showed signs of life late on, but they just couldn't pull close enough to have a shot at that first set. As that double hit call when it was a 3-point game that was the game changer, as it gave the serve and control back to Niagara, and they didn't look back. Both coaches talking to their teams after what was, like I said, a good first set. So we'll see what momentum the Mountaineers and the Knights can take from it. And we'll see who starts out stronger in this second set.
Yeah, Kyle, we can see over there Andrew Nicholson talking to Kristen Balachowski, maybe a leader on this team, been playing for the team for a couple of years, to see maybe she can rally up her squad and see if they can come out with a win in this set.
Like we were saying, this is the last game for the Mountaineers of this semester. Last game for both teams in this first semester of play. So before we have that exam/Christmas break, teams are going to want to end on a high note and get a win. Referees ready to go. Yvonne Mann gets the ball to start, and this is not Niagara's last game. They play Redeemer next week, so Mann gets it over. Davis. Mann gets it up. Van Solen can't get it as Rivers just swings her arm at it, and Davis gets it over. Kinsley Child passes it up. Alice Underwood tips it over, and they're going to call the lift on Underwood as Mann set her a different ball than what she was running, so she tried to do the most with it. They just caught her with the lift as Bailey floats it over. Kinsley Child gets it to Mann. Balachowski, Van Solen gets it up. Miscommunication right there between Rivers and Bailey, but Mountaineers get it. Balachowski blocked at the net, but swings her arms and gets it over. Davis out to Davis, and Linnea Davis just didn't get the power she wanted on that ball. As Kirsten Balachowski, the left side for the Mountaineers, serves this one over. A nice deep, but Van Solen passes it up. The back set to Davis, and she got up for that one and puts it down as got tipped off the block, and Balachowski couldn't handle it. Caitlin Whiteley back to serve. Gets it up. Powell. Child just gets it over. Davis right to Thome, and you can see that huge smile on her face after that one, as just tipped it over right to where no one was, and she's happy about that point as Niagara has a 3-1 lead in this first set. Kinsley Child passes it up. Mann gets it to Underwood. Davis gets it to Rivers, who powers it over, and Rebecca Powell can't handle that one, and it's another one she can't handle as Coach Andrew Nicholson, the Mountaineers, does not seem pleased. As that serve by Whiteley goes off the side of her hand, and Kenneth Van Solen takes her off as she's the libero. Must be tough being a libero, just come in for the back row and never get up to get those kills, but they must love it as Rivers passes it up to Davis. Good save right there by Underwood. She gets it back to Zanussi off the block. And you saw Samantha Bailey and the setter Bailey Davis both go for it as neither of them could reach it. Underwood back to serve again for the Mountaineers. It's a tight game early on. She gets it over. Rachel Rivers gets it up. Back to Rivers. Gets up for it. And Brittany Gindrich and Jasmine Zanussi both go up for the block for the Mountaineers. And when Zanussi came down, she turned the wrong way when looking for the ball, which gave virtually no chance to save it. As that serve by Linnea Davis floats long, as Niagara leads the Mountaineers early on in this second set, 5-4. And Zanussi gives it back to the Knights as she misses her serve, and can see what she wanted to do there. She saw the upper right-hand side of the court on the Knights side open, and she just couldn't put enough power on it. As Rachel Rivers back to serve with her huge jump serve and hits the tape, and it's another missed serve. Kinsley Child. Mohawk's looking for her to step up in this game. Serves this one. Nice powerful line drive serve. Back out to Bailey. Through the block, and Powell with a huge dig. Back row hit over. Van Solen gets it. Back to Thome, and another net call on the Mountaineers, and it's been haunting them this whole match. Thome of the Knights back to serve. She stands way back for her serves, but Kinsley Child gets it up. Gindrich into the block. Davis saves it. Dumped over into a huge save right there by Kinsley Child as she came from the back row to basically that center line and got that ball up, which is what you want to see from your team, to try and spark them, to try and put any motivation in them. And Volleyball took a pinball there as it bounced off 3 Mountaineers, which causes Andrew Nicholson, who looks unpleased again, to call a timeout. And I mean, Mohawk's been in the game. It's just those unforced errors that keep killing them.
Yeah, those unforced errors, like that play you just saw right there. A lack of communication, I guess, would be the main reason that happened. But also with some serves. When they were at the start of the game, when they were down 5-1, we got 3 serves in a row, some 3 straight points, which started getting some momentum. But right after that was a missed serve, which just crushes the team. Once they got the momentum rolling, they have to keep it going, get to the conservative play if they need to keep that momentum going. And then if not, then they have to find a different way to capitalize on the other opportunities.
Exactly. They want to stay in it and keep their momentum going. And when you miss serves or make those unforced errors, that's exactly how you can kill your momentum, just like that. You can see Coach Andrew Nicholson there. He realizes his team, they've been in both sets. They just, those unforced errors, like we keep saying, is killing the Mountaineers right now. As Thome serves one deep. Bałaszewski puts it right into the net. And Niagara is now doubling up the Mountaineers. It's 10-5. So Mohawks looking for that one nice pass, set, and kill. And Bałaszewski goes up. Saved. Bailey, powerful, gets one over, but Kinsley Child with the dig. Rebecca Powell gets it over. Linnea Davis out wide to Bailey and Rivers as the Knights get the point. As Jasmine Thome, like I said, she serves way back behind that service line and puts a lot of power onto her ball as Kinsley Child passes it up, tips it over, and smart play right there by Thome to serve it, run up to her position, and be right on the line to watch that ball miss. As that one is almost undefendable right there as it rolls over the tape, as the Mountaineers are playing back for her serve, and when that one rolls over and falls short, it's nearly impossible to return. She puts a lot of power onto her serves as Balacheski gets it over. Throw him right there. Davis out wide to Bailey. And it goes out as it hit the tape and not the fingertips of a Mountaineer, as Allison Underwood comes back into the game as libero Rebecca Powell takes a seat for a second as Brittany Gindridge serves one over. Bailey with the nice play. Davis out, a huge block right there. The Knights save it. Van Solen gets it up. Man, the quick to Balacheski. Rivers was right there. Out wide to Bailey. Powers that one off the block and it lands out. And you can see the Knights libero Van Solen put her hands up in the air when they got that point, because it's probably been the best rally of this set so far, as Niagara leads 14-6. Davis serves one over. Zanussi gets it up. Allison Underwood doesn't get that one over the net as it goes right into the tape and is called 4 hits. Bailey Davis. The Knight setters are doing a pretty good job today. Has the ball. Floats this one over. Kinsley Child gets it. We've seen a lot of that today. Powell just gets it over. Davis bump sets it up. Bailey off the hands gets it up. Van Solen passes it up. And they're going to call a net call. Substitution. Number 2, Jordan Kozlovsky takes out Rachel Rivers. And she gets put right into action. So that serves goes right at her, and see the look on her face, and she just shakes it off for a second. Man gets it up. Zanussi hits it back over. Davis out to Davis. That's been a pretty good combination today, Davis and Davis. Bailey Davis, their setter, and Linnea Davis, their star outside hitter. Been both on point today. Samantha Bailey, nice high serve. Powell passes it up. Man to Underwood. Huge dig right there. Off the net. Kozlowski gets it over. Man with the back set to Balacheski. And Davis and Van Solen both hit the deck for that one, but neither of them could come up with the ball. Balacheski back to serve for the Mountaineers. Powers one over, and you could hear Van Solen call it on that play, and she was ready for it. It just dropped at the wrong time and hit the side of her right arm. She smiles and shakes it off and gets ready for another Balacheski serve. And this one gets a friendly roll for the Mountaineers as that one hits the top of the tape and rolls over. And when you get points like that, you need to capitalize on those. As Balacheski gets it back over. Van Solen gets it up. Out to Kozlovsky. And man gave it all she's got to dive for that one. Just couldn't come up with it. That's Caitlin Whiteley back to serve. Right to Balacheski. Man, little miscommunication there, but Kinsley Child gets it over. Out to Kozlowski, gets blocked by Zanussi. Saved by Whiteley. Bailey gets it over. Powell passes it up. Out wide to Kinsley Child. They're going to call the double hit right there on man. Always tough as a setter to get those perfect sets up without being called for a lift or a double hit. So first one on her called all day. So see how they come back from that as Child gets it back to man. The back set. Zanussi gets blocked at the net. Kinsley Child gets it over, and a huge block by Linnea Davis. And she got hyped there after she blocked it. She turns back to her little team huddle and was pleased with herself, as it's the second time she's done that when the Mountaineers go to send the free ball over and she's just waiting at the net for that soft ball to come across, and she just dumps up and hits it right back to the court as Niagara has a 19-11 lead late on in this second set. As both coaches trying to talk up their teams, as this was the same position as last set as Andrew Nicholson. I must just be telling his team, like, keep doing what you're doing, do what you did last game, because you saw them come back, and the last thing they need is a rally to be too little too late, just like the first set. And Coach Joey Martins of Niagara, she's telling his team to keep playing the way they're playing, and they'll be successful as both teams take the court and are ready.
And you saw there, Kyle, Coach Andrew Nicholson talking to Kinsley Child, who's been playing a better game than she did last week. She's had a couple nice digs and a couple nice saves, and like you said earlier, hustling around the court. We'll see if she can bring some energy to this Mountaineers team.
Caitlin Whiteley back to serve. Right to Kinsley Child. Out to Underwood. Off the block, and see the smile on Whiteley's face after she dug that one up. It just landed just out of bounds as she subs off the court for the Van Solen. Gets a high five from her coach. Substitution now for the Mountaineers. Number 3, Mackenzie Pullum, gets her first action of the day, taking off number 5, Allison Underwood. This Pullum could be a specialty server in this situation. It's a nice serve over, tough to handle, as Bailey sends the free ball over. Zanussi with the pass up to Mann, out to Gindrich. Huge save right there by Kozlowski. Pullum with the dig, out to Child. And a huge kill right there for Kinsley Child. It's what leaders do in situations like this. They step up and make plays. But you can't talk enough about the effort of Mackenzie Pullum. Gets subbed into the game right away, puts over a nice serve, and then gets a huge dig to help them get that point. Then right there it goes off her hand, and Coach Nicholson shakes his head as he's disappointed, as when you put in someone for specialty serve, you don't like to see them miss it. It's a little miscommunication right there between Pullum and Balocheski, as they both went for the ball and it ended up in the stands. As Niagara has a 21-13 lead. It's Linnea Davis puts it up, goes through Pullum's hands. Man just has to send the free ball over. Davis to Kozlowski, tips it, and a huge solo block right there by Zanussi. This Mohawk is down by 7, and we'll see what Zanussi can do with their serve after that huge solo block. Powers on over. Van Solen can't handle it, but Thome saves it to Gindrich, and it gets saved up. Pullum hits it over. Good dig by Van Solen. Out to Rachel Rivers. My mistake, Jordan Kozlowski. But they're going to call the double hit on Bailey Davis, as Alexandria Pullum substituting on for Yvonne Mann late in this second set. Zanussi serves this one over. Tough for Van Solen to handle. Davis gets it up to Kozlowski, and Balocheski swung her arms at it, as didn't know whether to let it go, if it was going out, or to play it, as the ball lands towards the back wall. It gives Niagara the point. It's Kozlowski. Kinsley Child with a nice pass up, out to Pullum. Davis, back row to Davis. Nice hit right there from Davis. Out to Kinsley Child, and gets tipped off of Bailey Davis's hands and out of play, as Niagara leads 22-16. 3 points away from taking this second set. It's Kinsley Child. Nice serve over. Bailey with a nice bump set out. And off the block, and another point for Niagara. Jasmine Thome. Her deep serves back for the Knights. Floats this one over. Zanussi to Balacheski, and just can't get that one over. And if you look on the Mountaineer side of the court, they all look defeated right now, as they don't have any energy. They don't have a spark right now, and they just look out of it as Niagara is serving for the set. Pullum with a nice pass up. Back row to Alexandria Pullum. Davis gets it up to Bailey. Kinsley Child with the huge dig. Balacheski saves it over. And Gindrich saves it, and that one goes on the outside of the sticks. Niagara wins this second set 25-16. And that last rally right there, what a huge save by the Mountaineers, as that ball came right to us, was on the other side of the net, and got played back to the Mountaineer side, as Brittany Gindrich just couldn't get it over inside the sticks. As the Mountaineers look to regroup, being down 2-0 in this match, and the Knights looking to sweep the Mountaineers in their own gym.
Yeah, Kyle, what we've seen through these two sets so far is that Niagara is just, it seems like too much to handle for Mohawk. At some points, Mohawk is taking a little bit of control of the game, but not enough to keep that momentum going and get on top. They need to focus on shutting down their star players on Niagara, like we talked about, number 8, Rachel Rivers, 9, Devin Lowe's, and Linnea Davis, number 10. They've been playing a great game, plenty of kills and nice serves, nice digs, everything. So they just need to keep an eye out for them, and hopefully they can come out with a nice win in this third set.
It's tough, as Linnea Davis has been patrolling the net for the Knights, as she's been all over with her huge blocks and her huge kills, and that's been one of the keys for the Knights' success so far in this match. As you can see, all smiles and laughs, and a lot of fun in that huddle for the Knights, as they saw their assistant coach on the video board and gave a little wave to the camera. And I mean, I guess you can do that when your team is down, when your team's up, 2-0. You can have a little fun, especially when they're in complete control and they feel comfortable. And how everything is going the Knights' way so far. But don't count the Mountaineers out yet, as they've been in both of these sets. They just lost it right when they needed to pull ahead. When it was a tight game, they just couldn't stay in it, and it's when the Knights pulled away. Had that 7-8 point lead, and Niagara never looked back after that.
Usually our breaks here are a little bit shorter, Kyle, but there's a mini game going on right now for a serve to land on a towel, and it looks like nobody is able to do anything close to that. So that's why we're a little slow here.
I mean, like, give me a ball.
They might give them the one bounce rule. Oh, look at that. They moved the towel, giving them a little extra help. But like I said, they might give them the one bounce rule because to speed this up a little bit. Oh,
We'll
they
take
got
a
it.
look take a look at some replays. Samantha Bailey goes up for the kill, but you can see the digs right there and the effort by Kinsley Child, and she's been one of the bright spots of this Mountaineers team, as you can see, she's all over the court, and just she's one of the players you look at to step up and really motivate your team and help them succeed and land on top, as fans of all ages here are in attendance, ranging from little kids to, I mean, I don't want to guess anyone's age here, but some parents are here, all family, and it's nice to see, especially from Niagara. It's not too far, and it's nice to see when your family comes and travels and supports you, as there's a bunch of Niagara fans in the crowd, as both teams take the court now for this third set. Linnea Davis, one of the key players for the Knights, back to serve. Referee's ready to go. Give her the signal. She's ready to go and misses her serve, and that's just what you need if you're the Mountaineers in this situation, is points given to you. And we'll see how Kinsley Child can serve this one over. And she gets an ace, and I mean, 2 points in. This is just the start you want if you're the Mountaineers. You get a missed serve, and then you get an ace. See what Kinsley Child does is she's back to serve again, and then this one goes into the net. And when you get 2 points like that, the last thing you want to see is giving the Knights a point, but still very early in this third set as Rachel Rivers back for the jump serve. Kinsley Child right there with the nice dig. Out to Gindrich, and a huge kill right there for Brittany Gindrich, as that was just an overall perfect play. Kinsley Child got down for that one. Passed it up the man. The perfect set out to Gindrich, the middle, and she just powered that kill home. She's back to serve now. Right to Kozlowski, and Coach Andrew Nicholson must be happy, as he's giving his server signals with his hand behind his back, telling him what position to serve it into. And when your player can put it right into that spot, you must be pleased. Kozlowski goes up for the hit, and Kinsley Child, as soon as that ball hit the ground, looked at her coach and put her hand on her chest, like, my bad. And coach acknowledged that, as still early on, Mohawk has a 4-2 lead, as Jasmine Thome serves one. Kinsley Child gets it. Back sets to Zanussi off the block. Rachel Rivers comes and gets it. Kozlowski gets it, tips it. Man to Powell. Powell sets it to Balacheski. Gets it deep. And it's called out by the referee. It's smart thinking by Balacheski, as she couldn't get the power she wanted to on that one, so she just tried to place it over, but it just landed too far. As this one rolls, huge play by Kinsley Child right there. But Allison Underwood couldn't save it, as that ball falls well short of the net. 4-4 is our score now here in the third set. Thome still back to serve for the Knights. Perceptive Child. Allison Underwood gets it down, and great effort there by Linnea Davis as she dove for it, but Rachel Rivers also diving for it. Got the ball to the face there as it bounced off of Linnea Davis's arm, but Knights are regrouped, ready to go, waiting for Zanussi's serve. Powerful one. Rivers gets it up. Kozlowski right to Kinsley Child with the perfect pass up. Out wide to Balacheski. And a huge kill right there. You can see Coach Andrew Nicholson clapping his hands and hear him say, there you go, as that's the second basically perfect play you can get in volleyball. Perfect pass, set, and kill, and that's just what you look for. As Zanussi serves this one over. Rivers handles it. Kozlowski goes up And a huge kill right there by Kozlowski, and she goes over the block, down the line, and no one's there on the Mountaineers to handle that. That one was a powerful spike. There's Bailey Davis. Their slow approach, gets it over. Kinsley Child with a nice pass. Balichewski rolls it over. Almost handcuffed Van Solen, but Davis goes up. And you can see her fist pump in the air, as that is a huge kill right there for Linnea Davis. And she's just a huge presence at the net as this game is tied back up at 6. Bailey Davis with the ace as she served over the floater, and it dropped right before it reached the arms of libero Rebecca Powell. Bailey Davis with another one. Kinsley Child with another great pass. Balichewski gets it off the block, and Mohawk gets the point. And Kinsley Child has been by far the most impressive player on the court for the Mountaineers. With her passes have been perfect this whole game. She's been all over the court too, so we'll see how she continues to play to spark the Mountaineers. As Davis to Davis off the block. Nice save. Man gets it up. Child rolls it over. Kozlowski gets it. Back out wide to Kozlowski off the block. Balichewski gets it. Back row to Zanussi. And that one doesn't land in the court, but it bounced and landed in the garbage can, which doesn't count for anything, but be tough to do that one again. As Kozlowski serves this one over. Powell with a nice pass up. Out to Child. She has to punch out with her left hand as the set was too far out. And Linnea Davis gets stuffed by the double block of Underwood and Child, and this game's tied right back up at 8 apiece. It's been a back and forth third set here, my mistake, and just what you want to see if you're Andrew Nicholson, the coach, but maybe I spoke too soon, because missed serves are definitely not what you want to see in a must-win set. Caitlin Whiteley now back to serve. Balichewski gets it. Gindrich blocked by Thome. Zanussi calls hands. Kinsley Child with the huge hit. Kozlowski's there. Off the net. Rivers gets it over. Dumps over by Mann. And Mann is another key player right now who has been playing unreal today with her dumps. And like we say in previous games, when you're a setter, you can't dump all the time, because then your team's going to expect it. And she's only dumped about 4 or 5 times today, and couldn't ask for better timing. As she goes back, floats one over. The back set to Davis. Mann with the nice pass up. Zanussi to Child. And it goes through the block and off the hands of Kozlowski, and Mohawk gets the point. And they take the lead 10-9, and they keep this up. We could be in for a long match, but we'll see here as Mann serves it over. Van Solen passes it up. Out to Rachel Rivers. Saved up by the Mountaineers. Mann to Child. And stuffed right there by Linnea Davis. And that's a huge presence at the net that the Mountaineers are going to need to overcome if they look to win this third set. And possibly extra sets if they come on top of this one. There's Powell. The pass. Ginger tips it over. Davis with the nice dive. Kozlowski, free ball, sent over. Mann gets it out to Child. Passed up. Davis dumps it. And right there, smart play by the setter Bailey Davis to dump it over. And Mann's right in the middle of the court where no Mountaineers are. As Niagara now takes the 1-point lead. As Linnea Davis serves one deep, and another perfect pass by Kinsley Child. Zanussi goes up. You can see the look of disappointment on her face as she had a prime chance to hit there. She just sent the ball too deep. This is Linnea Davis. gets it over, and Jasmine Thome stuffs man as she tried to save it. That forces Coach Andrew Nicholson to call a timeout, as it's been 4 straight points for the Knights. Just not what you want to see if you're the Mountaineers. And let's throw it to Tom Edwards, who has a sideline report. Tom? Technical difficulties, so we'll hear from Tom in a bit, but Mohawk needs to change something if they want to come out on top of this third set. As they've been playing well, they've come on top of those few rallies, and you can hear Coach Andrew Nicholson telling them keep playing how they're playing, just don't let those unforced errors affect you like they have been. So the team goes onto the court as Niagara has a 13-10 lead in this third set. A must win for the Mountaineers. Linnea Davis floats this one. Kinsley Child gets it up. Mann and Zanussi were not on the same page there. The Knights get it up. Rachel Rivers gets tipped off the block, and what a play by Zanussi to block it and punch it over, and even better effort there from Van Solen to dive across the court there and just couldn't get it up. She got a hand on the ball. It's just tough to get those ones up. Kinsley Child back for the Mountaineers. Powers one over, but the Knights handle it and get it over. Gingerich gets it. Balacheski with the huge kill right there, and she ran that quick to perfection. The perfect pass up by Gingerich, the perfect quick set, and Balacheski just runs through the middle and powers that one home. It's Kinsley Child to Van Solen, and they're gonna call the lift on Van Solen there. I think the ball got caught in her hands as she tried to volley it up. She just couldn't get it to her setter, and we have a tie game now, 13-all. It's Kinsley Child right back to Van Solen, out to Rachel Rivers, off the block. Balacheski gets it up. Man, back says to Zanussi, who dumps it to the far corner. What a play by Van Solen to get it out to Rivers. And a huge kill right there by Rivers. As coach telling his team what they did wrong there, and you see both coaches very animated this game as they're both standing right near that sideline telling their team what to do when they can. And Rachel Rivers with the jump serve goes long. It's 14-all midway through this third set. It's Brittany Gingerich gets this one over. Rivers with the nice play. Out to Kozlowski. Through the block, but Kinsley Child right there. Man gets it over and right into the net. And you can see Coach Andrew Nicholson put his hands to his face and just very disappointed with that play. Kinsley Child with another perfect dig, and can't ask for much else from her. As a deep floating serve from Thome, and that one's tough to read as it just floats along, and Kinsley Child didn't have the greatest of reads on it. She went all out for it and just couldn't get it up. As Allison Underwood can't handle that serve, and substitution now. Alexandria Pullum comes in for Yvonne Mann. Jasmine Thome back to serve now. Huge dig right there by Balacheski, and can hear her say yes when they get that point, as that was a tough play for her. As there's another substitution as Yvonne Mann comes up back onto the court as Alexandria Pullum subs off. And it looked like just pulled off man for one play to talk to her about something he didn't like and see how she can affect the game. As another point for the Mountaineers as the deficit is now 1. So Knights lead 17-16. Jasmine Zanussi back to serve for the Mountaineers. Powers this one over. And an ace right there for Jasmine Zanussi. And a lot of uncertain looks on everyone's face when that ball landed as the referee in the back corner just flashed the flag down and called it an ace. And Mohawk was very excited about that one. And another deep serve, and this one lands out as Mohawk hands Niagara a point, take the 18-17 lead. Setter Bailey Davis back to serve for the Knights. Their jump float, powerful float. Kinsley Child gets it up. Balachowski just gets the free ball over. Davis, the quick, gets touched. Powell gets it up. Kinsley Child saves it as this one goes over. Davis passes to Davis, sets out wide to Kozlowski. Off the block of Underwood and a point for the Knights. And what a save by the Mountaineers there as that ball looked to have lost control, but Rebecca Powell saved it. Kinsley Child got it over. The power of Kozlowski was just too much to handle for the Mountaineers there. As Bailey Davis serves this one. Powell gets it straight up. Out to Child from the back row, and it's just a tough play there as Powell, not the greatest of passes. That one went straight up. Kinsley Child was very far in the back to hit that one over as it went right into the middle of the net. Niagara has a 20-17 lead. As Davis floats this one over. Kinsley Child with the perfect pass up. Back set to Balachowski. Davis out to Kozlowski. No block there. And miscommunication there from the Mountaineers, as that's every hitter's dream, is to go up and realize there's no block and just have a free swing at the ball. As Kozlowski went up, and miscommunication in the front row from the Mountaineers as they're running around and just hit that ball home and got deflected off a few people in the back row and couldn't get handled. But Tom Edwards has a sideline report for us. Tom, take it away.
Hi, this is Tom Edwards courtside, and a dominant player in here tonight is definitely for Niagara Knights, number 10, Linnea Davis. She has been on point at the net. Mohawk have had a very hard time trying to get the ball around her. Hopefully, we can work our way around her strong blocks that have gone on tonight, on top of the fact she's had pinpoint accuracy with her serving. Now, Mountaineers need to scramble and see if they can get on top.
Thanks, Tom. Couldn't have said it any better myself, as Linnea Davis has been all over the court this game. At the net and in the back row, and see what the Mountaineers can do here as Balachowski to kill and cuts the deficit to 3 late in this third set, which is a must-win for the Mountaineers. So see what they can muster in the final few points of this set as Balachowski gets it up. Davis, back row to Kozlowski, and it's called out. Mohawk gets another point. It's Balachowski. It's a signal from her coach. Dribbles the ball a few times, and it's an unlucky serve right there as that one dropped too quick, too soon, as it hits the top of the tape and falls back down onto the Mountaineer side. It's Kozlowski. Floats this one over. Kinsley Child gets it up. Powell gets it back to Child. A huge hit right there, but it just lands wide. It's now a substitution. Jessna Marmo gets her first time on the court this game as she takes off Kinsley Child. Very disappointed Kinsley Child walks to the bench and Knights are 2 points away from this set as Underwood gets it. A huge dive right there by Bailey Davis. And just a tough play right there for Caitlin Whiteley as she goes up for the hit and just puts it right into the net. Mackenzie Pullum substituting on for Allison Underwood. It's the second time this match that Coach Andrew Nicholson has used Mackenzie Pullum in a key spot for a serve. Out to Linnea Davis. And they called a double hit on Davis. If you didn't see, Coach Andrew Nicholson is down on a knee, closing his eyes, waiting for the serve to go over. He hears the sound of the ball off Pullum's hand and opens his eyes, but man, out to Marmo. And it's touched. So it's Mohawk's point. As Jess Marmo gets her first action of today and cuts the deficit to 1. And a little confusion here. It's Coach Joey Martins shaking his head. Confused. Everyone was confused with that last play as the referee called a touch. And then no one knew if he called a timeout or not, but Mountaineers are climbing their way back into the game, but the Knights, one of the reasons they're in the position they are right now is because of one of their power hitters, Rachel Rivers. So let's take a look at what she's done today as she just crushes the ball when she gets that set. She just goes up and right there outpowers the teams, and she has a very powerful jump serve, which is always tough to handle. And I mean, she's not even just killing the ball, she's all over the court going for those digs. And I mean, she was one of our players to watch, and that's what you look for in one-year leaders, to do everything, to dig, to get those kills, just be a leader on the court. And that's why Niagara is 2 points away from sweeping the Mountaineers. As Pullum gets it up, Davis just off her hand weird as that one went under the net. Coach Joey Martins doesn't want this to go into a 4 set as there's a substitution. Samantha Bailey takes off Jordan Kozlowski as Pullum gets it over. Samantha Bailey right into the action. Up to Rivers. And a huge kill right there for Rivers. And that's what leaders do. They step up in huge situations like that. And Rivers goes up and gets a kill in a huge spot as Niagara is now serving for the match. Caitlin Whiteley back to serve. And this one goes right into the net. The game is now tied 24-all as Yvonne Mann back to serve for the Mountaineers. Gets this one. Van Solen gets it up. Bailey, back row to Bailey. And off the hands of Balacheski and Linnea Davis, one of the other leaders on the Knights, back to serve for the match. Powers this one over. Balacheski gets it. Mann back to Balacheski. Gets it over. Van up to Davis. Back row to Thome. Little miscommunication there. Zanussi puts it into the net. And the Niagara Knights sweep the Mohawk Mountaineers in their own gym. And that caps a tough November for the Mountaineers as they go winless. And they've now lost 6 straight games. And now they have exam break, Christmas break to just try and regroup and come out in the second half of the season like a new team. Because people will remember, they started the year 2-0.
Yeah, they started the year 2-0 there, and it seems like one thing that really was a problem for the Mountaineers is the loss of their one of their top libs, Alessandra Asaf. Ever since she's been gone, they haven't been able to produce as many strong hits, as many nice 3-hit plays and stuff like that. So maybe with some time over the break, Asaf can regain herself and be ready to play when we come back.
Yeah, especially with a lib like Alessandra Asaf, who's such a huge part of your team. I mean, there's only so much you can do, as Rebecca Powell has huge shoes to fill. But let's take a look at some of these replays from this match. So you can see Niagara was just all over the court, and sometimes Mohawk didn't get their block up fast enough. And I mean, got to give a lot of credit to Bailey Davis, who was all over for the Knights, as her sets were basically perfect every time, as they got contribution from everyone. There was huge digs right there, and Kozlowski subbed into the game, and she was a huge part of the Knights sweeping of the Mountaineers as well. But for myself and Cameron McKay, it's one game down, but don't go anywhere, as it's going to be a huge OCAA West Division matchup in about 48 minutes between the men's and the men's Mountaineers team and the Niagara Knights men's team. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.